There we go. Hi everyone, how's your day, night, lunch, midday, twilight, whatever time you're watching this? How are you doing? God bless you. Thank you for watching. And this is another episode 2. I'm not going to be counting them anymore. Of RK's back issue bin. Let me start it off. I should have started off with the first back issue bin explaining the backstory of it. So we'll do it now. Long story short, me and a bunch of friends had started our own pop culture company called Toxic Pop. And one of our shows was called The Back Issue Bin, where we did things. We went over back issues. We talked about comic book series, or we read some books and we graded them. I should have graded the first ones, but all in all, first one I liked. Anyway, it's a hot day, people. It is a hot day. Zero sugar fruit punch. Anyway, let's get to the comics and what we're going to do with them. I am going to be doing... each time I'm going to be reading 7 comics. Why 7? Because I want to. And 7 is my favorite number. And I feel 7 is just about right, where people aren't getting too overly dramatic and complaining. So in here are the 7 that I've just read the last few days, which I'm really happy with, because, I had issues that stopped me from reading comics for a little while, but we won't go into them. There we go. They're in I shouldn't say they're in no particular order. They are in particular order. Alright. Continuing off from Groo. This is Groo number 82. September 91. Epic / Marvel Comics. I hope you can see that just right. Part 3 or 4 of The Legend of Tai. It's about a story of a little girl that Thor was supposed to protect, and of course he goofs up. Now she's older, now she's looking for him. Hilarity ensues. I believe he's in jail or she's in jail. Somehow one of them gets out, and how it ends, I'll have to get issue 83. Okay, here's Groo number 2 from Image Comics. In this one, the 2 witches, Arba and Dark Arbor, they go to they're banned from a witches convention. And so they drink their a potion to make them magic. Make their powers more magic so they can have revenge at the witches convention, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, along the way, Groo sees him, but then he meets up with the witch and becomes her assistant. And she sends him and Roberto in the convention to get the things she needs on her shopping list. Well, hilarity ensues. Arba and Dark Arbor go there. They think they're messing with Groo, and they end up messing with Roberto. And then a sheep gets involved, and they're all playing, let's see. The sheep becomes Groo. Groo becomes the sheep, or he becomes Roberto. Sees Roberto. Roberto's him. An image of Groo. And then chaos ensues. Alright. Go on with Groo. We're almost done with Groo, people. Just hold our horses. Groo number 5. This one, Groo sets on fire a ship for a king who wants to cause a war with a smaller town to take it over. So Groo starts fire on his ship and then sets fire to more of his stuff, which gives the king the news that he needs to claim that his ships were burned by this little village. So Groo somehow is in charge of his men, and they go take on these two bigger countries, and he takes them over. And then he gets to the little town that they're supposed to go to, but he doesn't want to fight them. He wants to fight them, but fight them fair, so there's no weapons, and the town just happens to be Groo and his men. And then, of course, you have the two bigger, stronger cities that are going after the king. So it screws the king's plans up even more. Oh, well, we forgot to grade him. Why didn't you remind me? You should have reminded me. Or maybe I should have remembered. I don't know. I guess reading Groo's making me dumb like he is. Making me a mendicant. Anyway, if I had more of the story to kind of figure out more of what's going on instead of being the third part of it, overall, I would give it a C. A strong C. Not a C plus. Just average C. Okay. This one, definitely a B plus. To read it. Alright. Issue 10. No, issue 5. Sorry. Just a solid B. Oh, it's good too. This one, issue 10. This one is, there's a group of pirates that want to hijack a town and make them pay so they can get the supplies in. It's a scam going on. One guy says he'll go out and beat up and destroy the boat, but he's in line with all the other pirates, and they have a contraption to where the boat sinks and it pops up and floats back up, and they do it in another town. Well, Groo wants to try, but he's always like destroying the boats that he's in, because of course it's Groo. Then finally, Groo's stupidness causes all sort of havoc for the pirates. And this one, I'll give this a B. Okay, this one is Richie Rich, the Poor Little Rich Boy. Number 185. It's from 1979. There's a bunch of stories in it. One, Mrs. Lots of Bucks wants to host a party, and Professor Keenbean builds a machine that can bring back things. So Richie gets the idea of bringing her first ancestor back, because he was supposed to be the first ancestor that came off from the Mayflower. Boy, was that wrong, and he wasn't even the first, and he turns out to be a trader, like a tradesman and a hunter, that type of tradesman. And it turns out he's related to the Riches. And then in another one, some thieves wanted to try to steal Iona, but it's on her coffee break, and everything that they try on her, she just happens to break and get out of. And there's a story with this little girl named Maida Money, who has a crush on Richie, but he doesn't see her that way because, of course, he likes the little poor girl, Gloria. So she pretends to be sick so Richie can go see her, but one of the actors that she uses betrays her in the end. We'll put it this way. There's also a little short story about Richie going through a tough part of a neighborhood, and this big kid wanted his money. So Richie started pulling all of his money out from his pockets, his wallets, his vest, his boots, his shoes, his belt, wherever else, and the kid ended up cracking up and I'm going straight. Oh, gee, kid, that's a lot of money. Oh. Yeah, I know a 49-year-old shouldn't be reading Richie Rich, but when your mother goes to flea market still, and even though you tell her what comics to look for you, while you're babysitting your husky, and she ends up with the little kid ones, yeah, it can kind of get a little frustrating. I'll share with you. I'm bipolar, so yeah, I flip pretty easy over it and get mad, but then after a while, I'm like, all right, I'll read it. So I will give that, with all the hilarity and jokes aside, a D. It's good though. I like it. Next is the new Batman Spawn #1 that came out last year. I finally got around to reading it. You can see I got the Capullo cover. They used the Court of Owls that had a some sort of amulet piece. They threw it at Batman. Spawn came out. They start fighting, and for some reason or another, Spawn's looking for Batman because apparently he killed Wanda. When he killed Wanda, I don't know. Can someone tell me that where in the Spawn logic Wanda died? Not Spawn logic. Spawn continuity. The Spawn storyline. The Spawn comic. Where did Wanda die? I would like to know that. Because the last time I checked, it was like maybe issue 30. She was still kind of alive. And that's only because I was reading it from a friend's collection. So they fight. Quarter owls are involved. God, what's the name of their big bad bird guy? I can't remember. So just chaos ensues, and they fight who they need to fight. It ends there. I don't know if there's an issue 2. If there is, I would like to want to check out the rest of the story. I'm going to have to go into my LCS and do some more digging around. But for the story that Todd McFarlane wrote and Greg Capullo drew, the classic Spawn team, I give that a solid B+. I'm going to be honest, tell you the truth. And last but not least, Slave Labor Graphics from 1986, Barnabas #1. It's about a town of mice being raided by some apes, gorillas, if you will. Sorry if you get offended because I said something. Please don't. It wasn't done with intention, I promise. And the one mice, I figure he must be the king mouse. They end up killing him, and his son decides to do some vengeance and takes the town's gold, goes searching for Barnabas, finds him towards the end of the book, so I really don't get a good, clear picture of Barnabas. The artwork is kind of, how can I put it, iffy. And there's some strong language in here too. Yeah, that's when that mouse was killed. Let me go here. And as the last panel right there, that's Barnabas falling down like a drunk. I'm really interested in some of this indie title stuff. The only problem with this is the artwork is kind of crude. Not my style of artwork. I don't know what the guy was going for. Yes, there's like a Collection, maybe I'll get the collection. If not, I don't see me really buying it to check it out. Even though the story seems interesting, I would have to give this just a D-. Just on the artwork alone. Story is intriguing, but the artwork it's one of them things I'm picky about. Story has to fit with the artwork. The artwork has to fit with the story. So there you go. And when we get another 7, we'll do another one of these. Everyone, we'll see you later. Happy hunting.